Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our Persia run. Last episode, kind of two big things happened. This is easily the biggest market we've ever seen the AI have. And, to some extent we're expanding it, playing as Persia and expanding all throughout here. We're about to add Iraq to here. But I wanted to note that the Russian AI all by themselves got Ottomans into the market, and they got, Egypt into the market, and they got China into the market. And so, and this is as well as Romania as well. So they've really gotten a whole lot into the market, and also, Netherlands. Part of this is also due to the fact that they are getting diplomatic interests for free because we have territory everywhere, which kind of brings us to we have a bunch of, native interests everywhere, and so this is giving Russia a ton of interests, and so they are able to expand more. And I think this is like why, for example, they subjugated the Netherlands, because normally they won't declare an interest in the Rhineland because they don't have that many declared interests, but now they do. So that's kind of, one major thing. Also, it was the first episode that we were recognized. We are building a uni up to level 31. We're pushing economies of scale. We're kind of turning we're crossing a little bit of a turning point. We went from 160 construction to 350 last episode. And this is, around 200 construction is kind of the inflection point where I think that maybe you want to build a uni up to EOS, economies of scale. And so that's kind of what we've done. We've also expanded a whole lot in regards to, forming, we may be looking to form some sort of massive caliphate. We're going into Iraq, classic, although it's not America. And then also what we are doing is we are, I think we're going to try and lean into the Sunni ulema. I don't even know if 100% conversion is the best bonus. I think it's probably not. So I think that, it's an interesting one, because if we take a look here, and we look at, our religion, I said if we look at our religion, if we look at our charts, we see that over half our pops are Shia at this point, which is, quite a lot. Nowhere near half our pops are Persian, for example. And okay, we do have quite a few pops that are, well, if we look at all our top ones, we see Han, Yue, Russia, Sotho, Bantu, Korean. A lot of these are not natively Shia, and so we have definitely converted a ton of pops, and so this is interesting. We have a ton of authority, we have a few edicts, and we have a ton of consumption taxes, really allowing us to crank up construction, so this is interesting in terms of goals. But back to the point, huge market, bunch of native interests. One of our native interests is here in Selangor, and I think we could actually have an interesting discussion here because the UK is trying to conquer it. And so what our cost for getting this was 2 infamy, and I think that this is actually interesting because I think we should abandon this war after some reflection. I think we should just give in. Now, because it is a part of Russia's market, Russia's almost certainly going to join on our side, which will allow us to free the beast, aka the Persian army that was banished to the Shadow Realm last episode. We should be able to get them out and come down here. But effectively what this costs us when the UK takes it from us is it costs us 2 infamy, because this is what we paid for it. It costs us 2 infamy in some amount of months. And we have been trying to cultivate a good relationship with the UK. As you can see here, we're improving relations for a long time now. Our relationships will deteriorate if we are in a state of war. I don't think we want to be in a state of war with the UK because we are hoping to reverse sway our way into some of their plays and get some of their stuff. We would love to pick up Kenya, Great Britain. We already picked up the Trucial coast, which is good for us, in terms of having a nice looking map. But I think that it's actually not worth it. We can acquire a native interest. This is why we took Selangor. There's some resources here, but it's not really a big deal. We could go after Perak for the same reason. But it's our main point here was to gain the native interest. We're all at this point we might just want to eco up and build boats, and so I really don't think it's really worth it to fight the UK. I think we win this fight because I think Russia joins on our side, and I think we win versus Russia. We'll also just plant 100k here on defense and say, okay, what are you going to do about it? And they're going to do nothing because they don't know how to do a native a landing. I think we could transfer Australia. This would probably be the best primary war goal that we could put in. But do we really want to try and take Australia like this? Australia wouldn't be bad. It's very resource rich, and this would be a fine one to do. This is what I was thinking, off camera. I was thinking taking Australia. I was trying to figure out the best war goal, but then I just thought, you know what? I think we don't do this. I think we just don't fight the UK. I think we just give them what they want. We try and debanish our guy from the Shadow Realm. Almost certainly Russia joins on our side, so let's take a look. Russia, please. There we go. Russia sides with Persia. And so, of course, if we did want to fight, we would want to have, you know, whatever is accruing infamy, we would want that as our primary war goal. But you can see here, this transfer, it's not primary, but now we should be able to, now that we have access through Russia, debanish these boyos from the Shadow Realm, which is going to be good for us. And then, ooh, that's spicy. Okay, well, if they could offer us, like, a province or something in Japan, we would love to accept that. But as soon as this guy's free, I think we're just going to back down. I don't think we're interested in, as soon as he kind of crosses over into our territory, I think we just back down to the UK. Really aren't interested in it, like, really aren't interested in being a rival, like, this type of thing. And so I think we just back down, and we say, you know what, you can have this. It's all you, my man. You got it. So we do see this. We could offer support for war goals. Really don't want any war goals on, you know, Austria, so we probably leave that alone. But I thought that this was a super interesting inflection point, because almost always you fight out every war, but this is just not a big deal. And hopefully they stop rivaling us, because that'll actually be annoying. But if we side on a war on their side, they should unrival us sometime later. But we've been really trying to manage the relations with both them and Russia. Russia seems to have calmed down once we become recognized. But this has been definitely, you know, kind of a bit of a feature of this run. Now, though, the UK is very likely to join against us in plays. So, you know, perhaps we should have tried to back down out of that faster. But I did want to free up this 30 stack, which has been banished. So, yeah. Anyways, that's how it's going. I mean, obviously we have to rival Greece here. This is probably something we've also been underutilizing. We're just rivaling kind of people who we know don't have a lot of native interest in various places, with the expectation that they're not going to come back to bite us, and this will allow us to kind of improve relations with the GPs while still maintaining, you know, this plus 25 infamy decay percent, which should be useful to us. You know, really trying to make the UK, well, now they're cooperative. Can you, like, stop? Okay, they de-rivaled us. Perfect, perfect. So this is exactly what we wanted. We didn't want to get an entrenched rivalry just over, you know, 2 infamy worth of dirt. It just didn't seem like the way to go. There's like 200k pops here. Really not that big a deal. Now there's some English pops here. You love to see it, unless you're Malay, I suppose. Then it's Mayday. Alright, the time has come for us to demand earth and water from Greece, I think. I've been putting this off a little bit, but I think we'll just, you know, make them a protectorate. They are, of course, our rival, and they are antagonistic towards us, so they are unlikely to back down. But we'll just send a messenger there, and hopefully our messenger, hopefully he just, you know, has a nice chat with them and convinces them to give us earth and water.
For a madman.
Earth and water. But you'll find plenty of both down there.
No, man. This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Madness. This is Sparta!
Well, that was a bit awkward. We have war with Greece now. Now, okay, just kind of go over this because a lot has happened and somehow our guys didn't get to the front. What the hell? Okay, what happened is Greece and Russia sided with, Greece and Russia. Egypt and Russia sided with Greece here, which of course is bad for us. We managed to sway Russia on our side in exchange for Sind, which is now Russian, which is kind of fine. And because they were already on our side and Egypt was on the enemy side, now we got a nice little protectorate on Egypt, despite them, you know, being inside the market of Russia, at least at the start of this. And so this will help us out quite a bit because now we only have to transfer the Ottomans from Russia at some point in time, and we will be able to, you know, have this greater Persia type dream going on. We moved these guys to the front as soon as Egypt joined, but somehow our guys didn't really get to the fronts in time, which is unfortunate. But I guess we'll continue on. Hopefully they get to the fronts in good enough time. I guess they're kind of moving in, but this is a little bit of a yikes. We'll have to reland and do stuff and make moves. Wow, why did it take so long for our guys to get to the fronts? I mean, we don't have forced march on these guys, and so this is a little bit unfortunate, but I guess it'll just take a little bit while longer, but we should be able to get to the front. So this should be a hyper-winnable war. We have way more troops, and so we will be getting both Egypt and Greece, which is very nice for us. Well, that went quite nicely. We, of course, threw in Humiliate Greece because... obviously, and we will get ourselves a nice little piece here. Notably, Greece is actually the site of some really, really good companies, which will be good for us later on, and we will also get a native interest in the region. Now, just scrolling down, it is Kupus, and it's mainly Kupus. Do we have access to them? Here. There we go. So the Bysiades, I think this one is interesting, plus from the plus 20% convoys and plus 5% infrastructure, really good prosperity bonuses. Not very good to have, these two industries are not the best to have as your industries that you're getting throughput and construction on, but Kupus, I think, is one of the best tooling industries in the game, and so we'll probably be leaning into this and annexing, Greece as quickly as we can for getting the railway building throughput, the steel mills throughput, and also we will be getting construction speed and throughput on tooling workshops, which is one of the better, I think this is the best manufacturing industry to get in on, although I think resource industries are just generally going to be better. Just kind of a reminder where our companies currently stand. We can come in here. I said we can come in there. I said we can, yeah, there are established companies. We are using all the basic ores and also the basic steel. The steel one, mainly for the state construction efficiency. We're not looking to push a ton of these to, make use of the construction, the 32% construction bonus and the throughput. We're not looking to get that on steel. Instead, we're looking to get construction and throughput primarily on the minerals, and we have been building those up quite a bit. But, we do expand our grasp, and so now we have protectorate as Persia, or sorry, Egypt as a protectorate, and also, protectorate here, and the Ottoman Empire is going to be easier for us to get because eventually, we will just transfer them, as a subject, right? Let's see. We can't see exactly how much this is going to cost in terms of infamy, but it's not going to be too bad because their population, if I'm not mistaken, is decreasing because I think we're siphoning it off, or I guess it's been pretty flat actually since their revolution, but this plan of a greater Persia is starting to come to fruition. We will want to also take our territory back from Russia at some point, but this is a little ways off before we can think about trying to get free from Russia's market and, maybe trying to snake Great Qing from out underneath them. To that end, we're actually adjacent with Great Qing's market through, the Sikh Empire here, who is a subject of ours. And so that's just something to note. We are just, it should be easier to pull them into our market later on, but this is a really big deal that we were able to get both these guys. Greece for the memes and of course the company, and Egypt for the fact that normally it's pretty hard to get these guys as a protectorate, when they have their full borders, and so we're getting the full bordered version of them, and they do have Hejaz as a subject, so we'll get that later down the road. So for whatever reason, we were allowed to just reduce autonomy in Egypt straight away, and they just accepted, so now we have the Dominion. That was easy, certainly. Easier than getting, dirt and water. So I, of course, am not particularly used to doing events that you get when you're enacting theocracy. And this one's actually kind of wild. If we have, charity hospitals, religious schools, we can get 25% education access for 5 years. Okay, I guess that's an okay modifier. And 30% enactment chance. 20% enactment chance and 10% pop attraction and 40% enactment chance. I think we're going to take this, education access, but this is like such a strong event, which is going to make passing theocracy very easy. Now, I'm not sure theocracy is even good here, to be honest. I think it's probably not the best. I still think parliamentary would be going better, but if we're gonna do, a greater Persian caliphate, I guess, going theocracy, of course, makes sense. So it could actually be a caliphate. Yeah. So this is a little bit of a spooky revolution, but we decided to proc it anyways, because we do want to move on to theocracy. Now, the reason why it's spooky is because the Rev has gotten Tabriz, which is probably the most important province in our economy, and Russia has a claim on this province. So there's a chance that they, instead of, siding with us, who's in their customs union, which is generally likely, they side with Tabriz. Or they side with the other side in order to gain Tabriz. Okay, it looks like they side with us, which is fantastic. So this is going to work out pretty well. well. We'll put down this revolt, and almost certainly off the back of this, get a nice theocracy going. Of course, our economy is in ruins, you know, kind of while this is going on. We'll probably let the construction queue idle once it finishes kind of getting its thing. Okay. We will just, like, let this idle, I think, because this is not tenable, but hopefully we put down this revolution relatively quickly. So very awkwardly, we low roll a royalist here as our IG leader for the Shia ulema, so now they don't support going on to a theocracy because they prefer monarchy. This is the worst. This is the worst timeline. So we can't pass theocracy even when we want to, although we do have 35% that we've gotten from events, and so we're still probably going to get it in, but now the ulema do oppose it. Very, very, very awkward. We're just finishing up like 16 gold mines here in Free Stat, which is going to really help us pop off. We also put down a migration edict here after we noticed that we can build so many of these mines. A little bit maybe not looking out so good, but look at this. We're just absolutely popping off here, and we already are up, you know, like 50% construction on the episode, probably going to add a whole lot more. We have steel frame buildings coming down the pipeline, which this is kind of the only reason why we're not absolutely blasting like kind of as many construction sectors as possible, but I think we're going to add a smattering. Here's kind of where our construction sectors are at right now. We've built where we've accumulated a lot of pops and had iron and coal collectively, although now we are starting to you know, hit the upper limit here of various things, you know, where we have only max level 20, so this is going to cap our EOS, and so this is going to, like, in the aggregate start to make you know, these Persian lands look a lot worse in the sense that we can't hit the economies of scale cap of like 51, whereas something place like Perm, you know, you're going to be able to hit the economies of scale cap, or like place like Silesia, you're going to be able to hit the economies of scale cap. However, still great territory, and so we will continue to pop off here and expand some construction. So we are doing a little bit of ahead of time prep for eventually researching steel frame buildings. We know we're going to need more glass, steel, and explosives, and so what we're doing is, you know, every place where we have already a ton of construction sectors, we are going to be, like, for example, here we have steel. We're going to add some of these and put these in the queue. Every place that has, you know, lead, we are increasing the glass works by a substantial number. And every place that has sulfur, we are going to be increasing the explosives factories by a decent chunk, because this is, you know, a principal input. And so we're going to put this on auto expand and, you know, add a few. And by doing this, this will make it a much smoother for us to, you know, transition onto steel frame buildings as soon as we finish the tech, as soon as we finish it. I really am bullish on the health institution, or health institutions in general, especially, okay, it's giving us minus 60% effects of pollution reduction, the mortality, minus mortality, and plus standard of living. And let's just kind of come in here. What we would be getting, we have a decent pollution impact here. With this, what we would be getting is quite a big negative modifier, but this is minus 60%, so these penalties would be nearly doubled. So in, like, one of our biggest places, an additional, like, 15-12% mortality and an additional 2 to 3% migration attraction, that's, you know, that would be uncomfortable. But on top of this, you know, the increased standard of living is going to make a big deal for, you know, attracting pops, and these pops work into subsistence farms, which increases your GDP. Your GDP increasing, you know, increases your minting, and so, like, everything's kind of connected in this way that overall, as an institution, it seems incredibly strong. But just kind of taking a look here, I think around here is when we put in a health institution. So you can see, okay, we are attracting a lot of migrants either way, but here it starts to move up a lot, you know, in a sharper way. And so I think that this is kind of a pretty big deal and makes it look pretty good. Now, we do want to be deficit spending, however, as we should be deficit spending as soon as we swap to steel frame. We have a whole bunch in the queue to prep to swap to steel frame, and we still added a little bit of construction. We started this episode with like 360. We're going to very easily double it before the end of this episode here. And so we should be getting steel frame buildings right about now. Oh, just kidding. I said just kidding. 0 days left. The truth hurts. Can't get it right now. You can't time it when the 0 days is not 0 days. The snozberries don't taste like snozberries, and the Greeks killed your messenger. So we will be swapping everything onto steel frame building as quickly as possible. What we will be doing is, here is our absolute, like, Tabriz is our absolute center where we have the most steel, and we are going to swap these on straight away. Notably, it also increases our cap to level 25, so we will add that immediately. We're making a ton of money now, and we will find one other place with which to switch the steel, and we're just going to look for a place where we haven't finished all of these steel things yet, and so maybe I guess in the capital is maybe a fair enough place. I don't think we have a maxed out construction sector here, so I think we could get away with this without running, you know, a shortage. And then we will try and let the queue clear up. But the queue is now more than doubled since the minimum wealth, I guess. The queue is now more than doubled. And we also need to kind of reflect a little bit on technology. You know, we can go into the tier 3 techs now on either society or production or even military. Generally, the military tier techs don't seem all that great, and we're kind of okay. We could do reinforced concrete. That one wouldn't really hate because we are running out of new. The throughput would be nice, but I think we're going to leave that off for now. We could go steam donkey into pump jacks. We can discover a whole lot of oil, and pump jacks will allow us to maybe transition into utilizing our plantations a whole lot better. The thing is kind of want to leave the arable land unused because it is allowing us to, you know, pull migrants pretty well. And so there's this weird tension where, you know, the kind of buffing migration attraction in some ways makes it so you really don't want to build over this arable land. And so I think we will not do that, and we'll instead kind of come in here and we will maybe go mutual funds. We'll allow nationalism and organized sports. We'll let those natural spread to us. But I think we're going to go mutual funds into investment banks and unlock another company here. And I think that'll be a pretty good kind of look for us as we look to expand construction here. Now, the thing that is kind of throttling us, though, is the glass. So what we'll do is, we currently are not constructing any glass. We'll come in here and we'll find, hey, where are our glass works? And we'll bring all these to the front, because as soon as these finish, we're not really throttled by the steel and this sort of such things. And so as soon as these finish, we'll look to kind of swap, you know, another chunk. We have around 30% of our construction sector swapped. We'll look to swap another 30% as soon as we finish these glassworks, and then kind of take a look at how prices look then, and maybe get something done. Okay, so we see a war where there's two GPs ganged up on one. Here, the UK was swayed in for banning slavery in Inner Mauritania. And so I think we're going to just try and opportunistically piggyback here and ask for war reparation. Oh, we can only ask for Inner Mauritania war reps? We are looking to piggyback here against the French Republic for the primary reason that we are expecting them to back down a decent chunk, although I don't know if they back down for Inner Mauritania. But we don't necessarily have to fight this. We can just kind of abandon it. I don't think the France is likely to put too many war goals in on us. They might, but I think they're fairly likely to back down, and if they back down, we'll kind of get what we want without any sort of you know, penalty, really. And so if Austria accepts, now they are very worried, and there's a bunch of stuff in here. Humiliate French Republic, etc., mostly etc., and we will see if they are willing to back down, and if not, I guess we'll have a little bit of a fight. There we go. Perfect. We have a ton of infamy, kind of, or actually it's not even that much anymore, so maybe we didn't want to get locked up in a huge war. Maybe that would have been a bit of a problem, but in any case, we do see Inner Mauritania is now free to be protectorated. Maybe. So we maybe do that. We maybe look to try and do something else. Really would love to return that to Morocco and liberate all of North Africa here as a kind of like long-term project. We now do have a truce with France, but that's not too big a deal. We have more military in our queue as well to make these reverse sways and sways a little bit better for us, so we can get more advantageous things. Was kind of hoping to get French war reps, but that's not too big a deal. We get kind of just the free lib of Inner Mauritania, which is nice. So we swap over another 30 construction sectors, bringing us up to 800 construction. I think we started with around 360, and now we are losing about the amount of money we want to be losing, but we do have extraordinarily expensive, you know, prices on all the things that we are using for construction. Maybe we can import softwood. We really can't produce that much softwood. More than happy to import it to help kind of with that, because we don't have a lot of wood industries anyways, because Persia doesn't have a lot of wood. But as we bring these prices down of both, you know, the glass and the steel, of which we have plenty in the queue, this will help us out and make it cheaper, so that we can kind of swap over the last 30 to 40-ish and probably get to about 3K construction, or tripling construction. I guess to triple construction we'll have to go to 1180, so maybe we will be doing that. So we get our first instance where Russia, our army's big enough that, and also our relations are good enough with Russia that they're willing to kind of give us some stuff in exchange for us helping with them with the very difficult to put down Jambi peasant revolt. Now, we don't really want to transfer subjects too much right now, because every time their subject has a rev, this gives us a good chance to sway. So instead, what we're going to do is we kind of have to choose between asking for a bankroll, I don't think we're going to do this, and transfer some states, which they are willing to transfer, you know, decent number of states. I think we do have claims on some of these, and so I think we're going to look to transfer over the Caucasus like this, and maybe try and stake our way up to Kushij or Urlisk here, which is going to, we have it, and there's going to be a lot of oil here eventually. Same in this province here, although it hasn't been discovered yet. But I think we might start with Armenia. Now, I guess Azerbaijan would be a little bit better, but I don't think they're going to be willing to transfer Azerbaijan, and probably just Armenia at this current juncture. So I think we'll go for that. Oh, they will transfer Azerbaijan. That would put us adjacent to Dagestan, which Armenia notably doesn't. I think Armenia has better resources overall, because they have the iron and the lead. Oh, that's a little bit tough. This has more arable land. I think a lot more population as well. We'll go for one of these, but either way, delighted that we can start getting these sways on, which is part of why we have extra military in the queue, to try and get us to the point where we can do these sways, and also to give us more diplomatic interests. We will expand the Navy a little bit more as well, and lean on the Navy a little bit instead of, you know, trying to acquire native interests like we did at the beginning of the game. So Egypt's straight up willing to accept a reduced autonomy, but I think, I thought we had a truce with them, so I guess it's up, but we'll reduce their autonomy again. We'll accrue 7 infamy, which will be kind of nice. Well, it's not nice, but like it's an efficient type of use of infamy. And now, do these guys become our subjects? They do, and we will reduce their autonomy. And oh boy, it's a beautiful looking map, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so border goreless. Oh wait. Let's ignore. Yeah, now it's very border goreless. Very, very nice looking. You know, I think we're going to conclude the episode here. This episode, the 1,000 nations of the Persian army descended upon Greece. The 1,000 nations of the Persian army. Here, let's get this ugliness out of frame. They descended upon Greece and, you know, reduced the autonomy, or they subjugated Greece. We'll probably reduce autonomy here next episode. But for this episode, we did attack Greece. We also really kind of popped off, you know, well, actually, just kidding. We're not done yet. There we go. We really popped off getting above 1,000 construction. This is going to be pretty good off the back of, like, steel frame buildings and, you know, just generally making progress. But gaining access to Egypt and, you know, the Greece is really, really good. Now we kind of just have one more thing, which is the Ottoman Empire, and then I think we'll be pretty satisfied with the borders, relatively speaking. You know, and we also, next episode, will be becoming a caliphate. We will be going on to theocracy, so that'll be a bit of good fun as well. This kind of play pattern is, I think we need to look at it a lot more because, or at least I do, because, you know, theocracy and, you know, national supremacy and state religion have all sucked because they completely void your ability to attract migrants, and now they don't anymore. So, as you can see, we have, you know, Javan, Korean, Han. We barely have any Persians left, but we do have a lot of, here, let's go into population. We do have a lot of Sunnis, Shias, because we have a lot of, you know, conversion rate, a la our unique interest group bonus, which is giving us 100% conversion rate when our Sunni ulema is happy and powerful, which of course they're not right now because they're mad that we are, they're mad that we're passing, this law that we're passing. They're upset about this. They don't support it. unfortunate. I think that's because, is it because he's a reformer? I don't know why he's not supporting it, actually. That's a little bit of a curiousness for me. Or did we pass some other law that he didn't support? No, it's saying that he just doesn't like this. Maybe this is even a bug, because what we did is we had gotten a guy who was not a reformer, but instead a, what is it, like monarchist or royalist rather, and we exiled him because obviously, and now we're stuck with a Sunni ulama who doesn't even support us going the law that we're going. They don't even support the theocracy, which is, you know, awkward. But I'm thinking maybe they just supported it initially because it was a theocrat, and these guys just don't naturally support theocracy, which is a little bit, oh, they strongly endorse monarchy. Man, that's so lame, instead of theocracy. But I guess it is what it is. A little bit hard for us to get on theocracy, but we're going to be doing that up next episode. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and just a little bit of a last declaration here.
Madness. This is Sparta!